Alright, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden, everybody. So today is November 20th, and it's onion and garlic planting day. Now, if you're here in 9A or in Florida, Jacksonville area where I'm at, November is the time to plant garlic and onions. So what I did, let me grab a couple of these and show you. Last time I bought sets, this time I bought bulbs, which are just the small baby onions. I have tried seed, but I just haven't done real well with it. So that's what we planted. I've got 2 double rows here already planted out with onions. I'll step on them. And now what I'm gonna do is garlic. Now with garlic, this year, because I had a good crop last year, I have my own garlic to plant. So my theory, and it may be good or it may not be, but my theory is that if I continue to plant seeds from my crops, like the garlic for example, then what will happen is over time it will become better adjusted to my particular climate and my particular conditions. So I try and pick the better, nice, big fat bulbs to make seeds. So basically all you do is you take your garlic, split it open, and inside, just like what you normally use for garlic when you're cooking, you have the garlic cloves. So this is the bulb, and that's the clove. And so when you plant these, make sure that you plant the bottom side, this side, down, with the top coming up. All right, otherwise it'll be a upside down onion, or I'm sorry, garlic. So and then when you plant them, what I did here before I started planting, oops, I'm stepping on my onions, I dumped 3 wheelbarrows full of compost into this area, and then I rototilled it in. Now I know a lot of people are more about the no-dig garden, which is fine, but in this particular area I had a lot of sand, and I used to have my burn pile right here, where I burned all my extra limbs and stuff, and I think it killed everything off. So this garden hadn't done real well, so I went ahead and rototilled it in this time to try and get that fertility back up, get lots of organic matter down into the soil, and we'll see, hopefully it'll work well this year. So then, like I said, when you take your garlic, you just take your garlic and push it down into the dirt, and I'm going to plant my garlic, well, about that far apart, so 6 inches or so, plus or minus a few, and you just pop them off, stick them in, and off you go. All right, simple as that. The key to it seems to be, to me at least, that you need to get them planted in November. I did this last year and I had a really good crop, so I highly recommend November time frame. Oh, and the other thing is, I did try planting these one other year. It was terrible, but for some reason I peeled them back like you do, took all the paper off like you would do if you're going to cook with them, and I recommend you don't do that. Nothing grew. I mean, literally, they all rotted out. Leave the paper on and go from there. All right, so on this one I'm just going to plant single rows. The key to it as far as spacing, well, you saw about how big that bulb is. You want at least that much room and probably a little bit more. So that's why I'm doing the fist and the thumb distancing, essentially, when I plant them. I wouldn't get too worried about how deep you plant them. I'm trying to get to where the top is just below the soil. Not by a whole lot, but you know, a decent amount. So, and then what I'm using here is 2 sticks with a string to try and keep somewhat straight, but you don't have to do that either. I mean, you know, the only person who'll be upset about how straight your rows are is you. So, if you don't care, well, neither do I. And the garlic don't care. That much I can tell you. As far as fertilizer, well, I don't use fertilizer at all here. All I use is my compost. Though I have in the past, from time to time, put down some composted cow manure. but I'm trying to avoid that too, mostly just because I'm cheap. Seems to me like, you know, garlic's fairly cheap. So if you spend a lot of money to grow it, seems like you could have just bought it. Which, I mean, I know it's better. It's always better when it comes out of your garden. But still, I'm cheap. So that's kind of the way it works. Alright, so there you go. That's how I go about planting my garlic. Like I said, I think the most important thing isn't really so much how you go about doing it, it's when you do it. And in this area, November seems to be the time that works the best. So thanks once again for stopping by. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. And grow something.